Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to my weekly video here for Elliott Wave Cafe. I'm Chris. I did not have a video last week. I was out of town, but trying to cover kind of what happened here. We had quite a bit of volatility for the past several weeks. Obviously, last week we had a pretty large drop on Sunday night's future, Monday, but then we spent the rest of the week trying to recover. So, pretty decent, I would say, meaningful correction in here. Nothing, screaming the beginning of a bear market or anything of that magnitude. I don't think so. I think it's just your kind of normal pullback. You can see in here on the S&P 500 that we're holding, or we're trying to stop above that 40-week moving average, the 200-day. We'll take a look at the wave counts too in the S&P and on Bitcoin here shortly. I don't want to go through just these kind of weekly time frames from a very simple, pure technical perspective with some commentary, and then we'll take a look at the counts. But quite a decent recovery. You can see, here on pretty good volume on this weekly time frames. Huge gap lower towards almost towards 5,000, 5,080. And then with a full close almost to the place kind of where we gapped. Now, I studied this on a daily basis as well on Daily Drip, and you can see in here the weekly on the daily time frames on the S&P. Right, we're trying to recover a little bit, but we're still going to be hitting some overhead supply here to where the moving averages are. The 20 is about to cross back below the 50. I always kind of watch what's going on with the PPO and the RSI. As long as they're below 50 and zero, you're still in a downtrending temporary move here. So there's going to be some more proof that needs to be made for us to start to get a bit more serious about longing risk in here and getting long maybe the S&P or the NASDAQ, what have you, several stocks. I'll talk about a couple of the stocks that I purchased as well, but I don't think we're fully out of the woods yet. Things look they're improving, but there's still some levels that need to be taken out for us to kind of start to confirm a bit more than a low has been in place. And this looks like a three-wave move, so that level would be like 55.50. But if we can get above even 54.50, I think things would start to look a little bit better. So anyway, that's just on a daily time frame that I look at. I make commentaries and videos on that all day. So now this is the S&P. Let's take a look at kind of what's happening with the NASDAQ, which dropped kind of the hardest, and here you can see it even broke below that 200-day moving average, the 40-week. Definitely increasing volume and volatility with VIX going up towards 60. They try to break this trend line and kind of take it below it, but we started having pretty decent bids around 17,500, and then we closed back on the week. So again, a positive sign. One could maybe nibble, but very easy in here. Nothing on margin or nothing on leverage. I would be just kind of very cautious, opening small positions if anything. But truthfully, until you start to get back above the 19,500, I still think there's a risk of maybe further deterioration. Again, I like what I see in here, but I would take it kind of small and steady and be ready to get out of there if things start to look nasty again. You can see you're also climbing back and closing above this horizontal support here in the NASDAQ, so that's also a positive. So it could have been it could have been the whole move, and it's done and we're getting ready to move higher. But again, 1 week it's clearly not enough, and then on the daily we need to see a bit more volume, a little bit more upside days that are looking stronger to gain confidence on a low here, on a possible reversal. Taking a look also at semiconductors, they kind of got hit with Nvidia pushing pretty well and correcting that huge advance it had for 2024. We found support at the previous swing low in here. And just like in the Nasdaq, right, we need to see a bit more. But definitely I like the look of this candle that kind of came out of nowhere. Same for the Magnificent Seven, right? These are it's an ETF that tracks all these large seven stocks. I think they're almost equally weighted in there, but perfect touch of the 40-week moving average, and then definitely a nice bullish close. So, this looks encouraging going into the next week. Even if you're retracing about 50% of this candle, I think that would offer maybe a bit better risk reward on entries. Again, just small, to start to take advantage of maybe a move back to the upside in the Magnificent Seven. Dow Jones, again, back into the 40 weeks. So you notice all these broke their 50-day moving average, but came to the 200 where we're holding. And these are averages that are being watched, obviously, by all these large funds and hedge funds and pensions and all of that. Right, that's where they have some line in the sand, and that's why they're so relevant. So again, from a Dow perspective, we tried to break out, right? Then we failed, but also we failed to continue to the downside. So it's still in an uptrend here, without any severe technical deterioration. If anything, there's more in the Nasdaq than it is in the Dow. So I do like this chart. IWM had a beautiful breakout here above 210 several weeks ago, and then it outperformed actually for quite a while. And then obviously when the rest of the market started to sell, we created a break in here as well, back lower, a test of 210. It held, I think, for a day or two, and then it broke lower back to the 40-week. So now the 40-week is trending up. I view that as a positive and as the beginning of maybe a larger uptrend. So I still think there is a chance that this reverses and moves back to the upside. I want to see IWM get above 210, and then I'll start to initiate again long positions. We were long on this breakout. We got out on the sell. But back above 210 in here, I want to nibble again and start to build a position in small caps, once we kind of clear out this mess. So that's IWM, Bitcoin in here, and we'll take a look at the wave counts. Beautiful hammer here. It is Saturday, so we do have a bit more until we actually close, but a little bit more volatile below that 40-week, actually dropped into the 50K. I do like what I see, and if next week creates another kind of nice white candle, maybe back towards 67,000, I think that would be a beautiful signal to increase exposure and get seriously long Bitcoin for the move towards 100,000. But definitely encouraging to see this formation here with the long tail here on the weekly time frames, and we'll talk about the wave counts here shortly. Ethereum looking a bit weaker than Bitcoin. Does look like it has an ABC. Again, nice hammer, but it's got to fight some upside supplies in here at about 2,800. You can see how many times they were tested. So the first sign would be get back above there, close above there, a couple of days. And then I think it could probably continue to go above 3,300. I don't think it's time to long it just yet. I mean, you want to see a bit more strength coming out. And 10-year yields, right? The panic dropped all the way to almost 3.6. Found support, stabilized, but we could be in a low rate environment, especially if the Fed is going to start cutting. The dollar broke this trend line, and then it kind of came back. I think you want to look at the dollar maybe with a negative bias here in a way, below this 10-week moving average. I don't know where the 40-week is. I don't think I have it in here. I got to put it in. But clear is a series of lower lows and lower highs in here. So as long as you're staying below 104.35 and even 105, I think the dollar can continue to move lower. Gold looks fairly nice, just a nice push of this 10-week moving average with a nice tail. If you're going to get lower rates and lower dollar, I think gold is prone to continue to go. Same for silver, which had a nice ABC correction into the previous support about 26, and it's probably going to start maybe resuming a bit of this uptrend. This looks like a 1-2 move in here. Looks pretty decent on that. Maybe above 29.30. I would think about maybe getting long. silver in here, and then oil is in the middle of nowhere, continues to just be a yo-yo up and down between 82 and 70 at the moment. So, decent bullish weekly close, but nothing worth doing in here on oil. Okay, really quickly then on the S&P, this is the quarterly charts that we're always watching. I kind of begin the videos with this just to kind of give perspective, but what else we want? Just a strong uptrend in here. Wave 2 cycle, and then we're watching the middle of this larger wave 3 in red. Series of 1s and 2s, we should continue to go. On the weeklies in here, I have modified the count. You do have this little bit of a sell-off, and some of the wave structures in here were looking like they weren't matching. They weren't allowing for this larger wave 3 red to have enough room to continue to grow a multiple of this wave 1. So what I've done is I've change a little bit the subdivisions here, going in a 1, 2 orange, 3, 4. I don't think there's any overlap between the low of this and the high of this orthodox wave 1. And then from here you go in a wave 5, which could terminate either here or here, one of the two. If this is a possible flat, you have an ABC and a wave 2 in this purple color, and that would allow for the market to continue to build and build a larger wave 3. So it remains my preferred count right now. You can notice that wave 3, it's not the longest wave, but it's not the shortest, right? And that's what matters. It's kind of the second wave in terms of length after wave 1, and then wave 5 here, it's a bit longer. There is if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I would have to measure the length of this wave with the length of this wave and see if this wave 1 can be placed up there. This makes it a bit better looking, because if you want to count this whole thing as an entire wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5 here, again, you have problems with the sell-off. So anyway, I'm bullish. You can see in the chart here that the markets are going up, right, from the lower left to the upper right. That's an uptrending market, and I want to trade with the uptrend. And my wave counts will reflect that based on kind of how I'm labeling this. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And then on the daily, I don't think I've modified yet the count. I think this was one of them that I had. That was an older one, so I got to get back and do some wave work on this one and see kind of where we stand. I guess this would be. If this would be a wave A, that would be a B, and this would be a wave C. But the problem is, you can see in here we only have like a 3-wave move. Let me go back. Yeah, this looks like a 3-wave. So that means that either this is a wave 1. Let me go back here. So you could take this wave 2 and put it back here and have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then go. I mean, that could be a bit of a stretch. We'll see. I'll continue to kind of work on this wave, but for right now, that's kind of what I'm looking. Let's take a look at Bitcoin as well. You can see in here longer time frame, right? We're looking for this kind of larger wave 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. With another wave 5 to start as part of this larger wave 3 blue. The correction looked beautifully if we would have finished right there where my arrow is, but instead we made a quick move higher and then fell below that low. That kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into this mix, but it didn't change at all I think the corrective structure of this entire move. And again, I don't subscribe to this being, some kind of a diagonal, that suggests further breakdowns lower. I don't think that's the case. The reaction in Bitcoin here is pretty positive. So the best I could come up with for this fourth wave would be like a WXY-XZ formation, almost like a triple correction, where we're looking at WXY X, and then you have a Z wave in here that's a bit bigger. And this kind of satisfies the requirements for that correction. Again, we want to wait for some of these levels to get taken out, maybe climb a bit more, maybe overtake this high, and then we have a better confirmation that that was it, and then this can continue to go higher. So really nothing, no damage. Again, if this fourth wave would have been here, right, this would be nice as a 1 and a 2 in a 61.8 and then a push, but the market had other thoughts and broke and took this low, which changes a little bit the way we're kind of counting this. But again, it doesn't diminish the fact that this looks highly corrective overall, and then it should resume higher once we start to build a little bit. I mean, look for maybe a little bit of a three-wave setback in here. Let's see if we're going to get that, and then another push. So again, no rush, but it does look like we completed. Also in terms of time, looks like this fourth wave. It's equal, if not larger, than this wave 2, which could mean that it's already done. So, as always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. Oh, I did say that I was going to talk about a couple of stocks that I bought. So, one of them was Palantir, PLTR. I do like what I see here in Palantir. Look at this break above there. Let's take a look at this weekly candle, right? Just very nice bullish engulfing on extremely high volume. I don't know, I think they had earnings or something, but also you have what looks to be this massive left right head, inverted head and shoulder, that it's attempting to get broken. So I think at least I owe it to myself to try this and see what happens. Definitely, if you're coming back below these levels, we have a problem. But right now it looks good. I mean, you could measure this and maybe take this measurement and dream about a move that could even double from current levels in Palantir over the I don't know, months, maybe a year, whatever it's going to take. But nice uptrend. I think it finished its correction here, right? Nice inverted head and shoulder here. Now you get a larger one. So there's potential for the stock to move. I like Palantir here. And then the other one, I still owe Apple, which I continue to like. You can see a nice three-wave. Has the potential to, if we break above 225, to continue to go. The other one, it's Cava. These guys are doing, they're kind of like Chipotle, but more Mediterranean and stuff. I mean, really good food here in Chicago as well. We have a store. It corrected here again into the 150-day moving average, and it closed and broke above on high volume. I'm looking for this to travel above 100 and above. So I made a few purchases. I still have more than 50% cash due to this correction, but I'm looking to initiate or add to more positions. I talk about this again every day in my daily drip updates and videos and writings or whatnot, and also in the chat. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll talk to you later. Bye.